That was one of the weirdest fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. Hey guys, my name is Zach, and I'm bringing you guys a new review today for the movie that comes out on February 17th, A Cure for Wellness. Let's talk about it. What is A Cure for Wellness about? It's about Dane DeHaan's character, who is a young executive at a business who gets sent to Switzerland to find his old employer, who actually goes to this rehab facility, and he has to find him and bring him back to New York for some business purposes. As he gets there, an accident develops, and he actually gets stuck there, and as he's there, he starts to find out a bunch of weird stuff is going on at this place, and it's up to him to figure out what is this place actually about. In the trailers, I was really intrigued by the trailers. I wasn't necessarily dying to see this film, but the trailers really did intrigue me to enough to say, I want to see that movie. And that's a great thing the trailers did. This movie's directed by Gore Verbinski, the guy who's directed all 3 Pirates films and the original Ring. So is this movie good? Elements of greatness, and this movie also has elements of What I do want to start talking about first is the goods. Performances are outstanding. 2 main stars, though, is Jason Isaacs and Dane DeHaan. Both do great jobs. I love Jason Isaacs in a TV show that I saw a couple years back that got canceled, but he's phenomenal in this, and Dane DeHaan steals the movie itself as well. Both had a great performance in this, and that's not lacking any of the supporting characters. The supporting characters were also great, but the movie keeps you on your toes with those 2 characters, and it's phenomenal to see. Another shout out I do want to give for the film is this is one of the most beautiful films I've seen in years. The cinematography, the shots, the imagery it gives you into this are outstanding. And some of these movies where something's happening on screen, they'll most likely pull away, and that's what I was expecting for some of the scenes in this movie. I have to say this movie deserves its R rating, and it gets it in a couple scenes. There's 2 scenes in particular that are gonna stick within my head for a very long time, because as these 2 scenes partaked and actually happened, I sat there and I was like, okay, they're gonna pull away, and then I was like, what? No, they did not pull away. That, oh my god, and everyone in the theater, I remember, was just sitting on the edge of their seat like, what the hell, did that just really happen? It's a great eye for directing and a great imagery from the cinematographer, so awesome job to that. Great setup with the shots, thinking it's going to pull away, but it doesn't. It just sits there on that scene for the perfect amount of time, and that was great. So I do want to give props to the director. I think this movie is very hard to direct, and I know Gore was over on BioShock for a while, and then he came over here, and he has talked about that you can see some inspirations from BioShock into this, and you perfectly do see that. The main thing with this movie, though, is that it is such a different and unique film, and I love giving props to the writers and the directors who make these films, because it's different, you know? It's nothing you go see out of the ordinary, and this movie did have a lot of great elements that I've never seen in a movie before, or even a video game per se. Yes, it's inspired by some things, but a lot of it was unique to itself. That's where we get to some of the bad. If you noticed, I've never really talked about the story, and that's because the story kind of lays in my pros and my cons. So the pros about the story is, yes, it is very unique. It's very different, and I appreciated that. And some of the twists in here are outstanding, but the movie does give you some elements of disbelief towards the end, where you have to kind of pull back and be like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. I don't get how that happened. And it leaves you thinking, and I'm perfectly fine with the thinking. I've seen Enemy, I've seen Inception, and I think a lot in those movies. But this movie leaves you thinking too much towards the end, and that's fine. Some of the questions I got answered, and some of the questions it leaves open-ended are fine for me. But there's 2 things that happened at the end of this film that I was like, I don't get necessarily how that happened. I don't get how that added up. And it was something weird, and I kind of retraced my steps back, and I see hints of where that should have happened, but I don't get why it happened. The thing about this movie also is that the pacing is not the strongest. There's some parts where it picks you back up and you're so intrigued on what's going on, and then it kind of drops back down. And you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. And you go back into the story again, and it's like, it gives you so many questions. It throws you so many questions. You're like, what's going on? What's that supposed to mean? What's this? What's that? And necessarily, you don't really figure out anything till probably the last 30, 25, 20 minutes of the movie. And like I said before, you don't necessarily find out everything too. A little too open-ended, and I kind of wanted to see more conclusion to. Besides that, this movie is intriguing. If you're intrigued to go see this movie, you like the trailers, I think you should go give it a shot. If the trailers did not hook you at all, it's not a movie I don't think you should go check out. I think you should save your money, wait till it comes on maybe Netflix or HBO Go. Besides that, though, like I said, great performances, great looking movie, a great unique story, but it just wasn't paced right, and it had some elements to it where you could have just given some more answers sprinkled through instead of just giving question after question after question, then giving me some of the answers towards the end. So with that all said, I'm going to give A Cure for Wellness a C+. What did you guys think of A Cure for Wellness? I'm really curious to hear about this. Are you anticipating Cure for Wellness? Or have you seen the movie, and what did you guys think about it? Comment down below, let me know. And if you guys liked what you saw here, make sure to subscribe. It helps me out. I also got another review coming out, 2 reviews coming out this weekend for Rings and the Lego Batman movie. I can't wait to talk about that. And then we got John Wick 2 coming out next week. So guys, thank you so much for watching this, and I really do appreciate it. Let's make sure I don't find my cure for wellness. That was so stupid. I'll see you guys soon.